Welcome to Shadowproof. Evidence first, noise last.
The initial listing indicates a breach below the waterline, allowing seawater to enter the hull. This flooding creates a free surface effect, where shifting liquid further destabilizes the vessel's center of gravity. As the list increases, water can flow over bulkhead sills, spreading the flooding to adjacent compartments. The ship's electrical systems may fail, plunging interior corridors into darkness and disabling critical pumps. In cold waters, hypothermia becomes an immediate threat, drastically reducing survival time for those in the sea. Modern vessels are equipped with watertight doors and compartmentalization designed to contain such breaches. However, if multiple compartments flood or critical seals fail, the ship can reach a point of no return. This scenario underscores the importance of rapid assessment and moving to higher, drier areas of the vessel. As the vessel sank, water pressure sealed the cabin door, creating a temporary barrier. The passenger realized air was trapped in the upper portion of the room as water rose from below. This phenomenon occurs when an enclosed space retains air as water enters, similar to an inverted glass submerged in a basin. The remaining oxygen became a critical resource, with survival time limited by volume and consumption rate. Such air pockets have been documented in various maritime incidents, providing temporary refuge during sinking events. The cabin essentially functioned as an improvised diving bell, a principle used in underwater construction and rescue operations. Temperature dropped rapidly as cold seawater surrounded the space, increasing the risk of hypothermia. This survival scenario demonstrates how understanding basic physics can create life-saving opportunities in extreme situations. Modern cruise ships are designed with multiple watertight compartments to contain flooding. These compartments are sealed by automatic doors that activate when sensors detect water ingress. However, catastrophic flooding can overwhelm these systems if multiple compartments are breached simultaneously. This creates a domino effect, where water pressure compromises adjacent compartments. Evacuation procedures prioritize reaching lifeboats on the outer decks via designated escape routes. Isolation occurs when flooding blocks these primary and secondary escape paths. This scenario differs from sinking patterns of smaller vessels, where evacuation time is typically short. Large ships may remain partially afloat for hours, creating complex rescue challenges. As water rose in the corridors, the trapped group's world shrank to a single cabin. Time became their most precious resource, measured against dwindling air and rising water levels. Survival in such situations depends on immediate, decisive action to manage both water intrusion and air quality. Historical accounts from maritime disasters reveal common patterns in successful survival strategies. The first critical decision often involves creating or identifying an air pocket while preventing further flooding. Water management requires improvised barriers and systematic bailing to maintain a survivable space. Air conservation techniques become essential as oxygen levels drop in enclosed, flooded spaces. These documented survival patterns demonstrate how structured decision-making can overcome seemingly impossible odds. As water floods a sealed space, it compresses the remaining air into a pocket at the highest point, typically near the ceiling. This phenomenon occurs because water is incompressible, displacing air upward as it enters. The survivor's immediate priority was identifying and reaching this air pocket to secure breathable air. This action addresses the most critical survival need, as oxygen deprivation can cause unconsciousness within minutes. Similar principles apply in various submerged survival scenarios, from sinking vehicles to flooded compartments. The compressed air pocket provides temporary refuge, but its volume decreases as water continues to rise. This creates a race against time, making the initial moments after flooding critical for survival. The survivor's reported action demonstrates a fundamental understanding of physics in extreme situations. A non-watertight cabin door presented a critical vulnerability as water pressure increased. The improvised seal was created using available soft materials like mattresses and bed. This barrier wasn't designed to be completely waterproof, an impossible task under such pressure. Instead, it functioned as a flow restrictor, slowing the water's ingress rate. Every minute gained through this method directly extended the survival time of the air pocket. Such improvisation follows a common survival pattern, using available resources to mitigate immediate threats. The physics involved are straightforward. Porous materials create drag, reducing fluid velocity. This approach represents a calculated trade-off between perfect sealing and manageable containment. This phase of survival required strict resource management, focusing on conserving both energy and oxygen. Panic and unnecessary movement were avoided, as they rapidly consume oxygen reserves. Survivors often describe entering a state of forced calm, consciously minimizing all speech and motion. This psychological control is a critical survival mechanism, reducing metabolic demand. A common physical strategy was assuming a fetal position to conserve vital body heat. In cold water, heat loss occurs many times faster than in air, making insulation a priority. This posture reduces the body's surface area exposed to the chilling environment. Together, these practices of calm and conservation form a foundational protocol for extreme endurance situations. The fourth phase, known as The wait represents the most psychologically demanding period of the ordeal. Trapped survivors faced limited air supply and complete darkness, with only the sounds of the ship's structure groaning under immense pressure. This waiting period was necessary for the flooding process to complete and for the vessel to settle on the seabed or reach a stable position. The critical objective was to achieve pressure equalization between the water inside the compromised compartments and the external ocean pressure. Only after this equilibrium was established could survivors consider attempting an exit, as the differential pressure would otherwise prevent escape. This phase combines extreme environmental stress with the mental challenge of enduring uncertainty in life-threatening conditions. This segment addresses what the story doesn't reveal and corrects common misconceptions. The precise technical cause of the sinking remains unknown, as official investigations often withhold specific mechanical failure details. Similarly, the exact rescue timeline is not documented in public records, which is typical for maritime incidents where operational reports are classified. The survivor's specific location within the ship at the time of the incident is often generalized in accounts. This lack of detail is common, as survivors in such emergencies may be disoriented or rescued from multiple points. The final method of extraction by rescue divers is also frequently oversimplified in public retellings. In reality, such operations involve complex procedures that are rarely disclosed in full to the public. These gaps highlight how maritime disasters often leave unanswered questions, relying on broader patterns rather than specific claims. Contrary to popular belief, the cabin did not transform into a perfectly dry, functional submarine. This misconception likely stems from simplified accounts of survival in confined spaces. In reality, the survivor remained partially or fully submerged in cold water throughout the entire ordeal. This continuous exposure to cold water presents a critical survival challenge beyond simple confinement. Cold water immersion rapidly drains body heat, accelerating the onset of hypothermia. The psychological strain of constant immersion adds another layer to the survival scenario. This combination of physical and mental challenges defines extreme survival situations. Understanding these realities helps explain the extraordinary nature of such survival stories. The den, submarine, was actually an air bubble, not a dry, sealed room. This air pocket is a temporary refuge, but its atmosphere is often low in oxygen and high in carbon dioxide. The idea of a single, dramatic swim to freedom is a dangerous oversimplification. Exiting a sunken structure is extremely hazardous due to unstable debris and dark, tangled corridors. Navigation is nearly impossible in zero visibility, with the constant risk of becoming trapped. Any movement can disturb the stability of the precious air pocket, causing it to collapse or be contaminated by water. In real survival scenarios, escape often requires multiple attempts and careful assessment of the only available perilous route. In most verified cases, the survivor is located and extracted by professional salvage or dive teams. These operations rely on systematic search patterns and specialized equipment to locate survivors in complex environments. This case isn't about a supernatural will to live. It's a brutal lesson in applied physics and human psychology. The core principle is air pocket formation, a critical factor in many maritime and structural survival scenarios. As water enters a confined space, it displaces the air already present. This trapped air, if the space is sealed well enough, can create a vital pocket of breathable atmosphere. The size and stability of this pocket depend on the structure's integrity and the rate of water ingress. Understanding this mechanism separates miraculous-seeming survivals from the predictable outcomes of physics. When a vessel begins to flood, the initial human instinct is to fight the water directly. This primal panic, the terror of "the room is filling up," can be counterproductive and fatal. Survival psychology shows the critical shift. Your goal is not to stop the water, but to protect the last pocket of breathable air. This principle underscores the extreme importance of location awareness on any large vessel, like a cruise ship or cargo freighter. Knowing only the primary route to your assigned lifeboat station is a common and dangerous oversight. In a real emergency, primary escape paths can become instantly blocked by fire, structural collapse, or rapid flooding. Therefore, memorizing multiple alternative escape routes through different sections of the ship is a fundamental survival skill. This knowledge transforms panic into a calculated plan, directly increasing the odds of reaching that last vital pocket of air. The survival hierarchy prioritizes securing breathable air above all other needs. Once oxygen is assured, attention shifts to managing body heat loss, which can be fatal within hours in extreme conditions. Only after addressing air and warmth should survivors focus on conserving energy through minimal movement and rationing. Panic consumes vital oxygen and mental clarity, making it a luxury that directly threatens the first priority of the hierarchy. A critical mental shift involves reframing the situation from "I am trapped" to "I have a temporary base of operations." This cognitive reframing enables the clear, sequential decision-making documented in many survival accounts. The hierarchy is a pattern observed across diverse environments, from high-altitude crashes to maritime disasters. Following this order, air, warmth, energy creates a stable foundation for enduring the initial crisis phase. Standard emergency procedures are designed for predictable scenarios with established protocols. When survival extends beyond these procedures, the situation becomes unstructured and unpredictable. This requires a fundamental shift from following instructions to actively interpreting the environment. Survivors must identify basic resources like water sources, potential shelter, and edible materials. The psychological component involves accepting that conventional uses for objects and terrain may no longer apply. For example, aircraft debris might become a signaling device or a tool, not just wreckage. This adaptive process combines environmental knowledge with the mental resolve to implement unconventional solutions. The grim reality is that survival often depends on repurposing the environment in ways it was never intended for. The survivor's situation was not a battle against the ocean, but a delicate negotiation with it. This negotiation lasted approximately 3 days, focused on securing 3 essential resources: air, warmth, and time. The primary challenge was maintaining a breathable air supply as oxygen levels dropped and carbon dioxide accumulated. Hypothermia posed a constant threat, requiring conservation of body heat in cold seawater. The psychological aspect involved managing panic and rationing mental energy across the extended time frame. This created a fragile equilibrium, a temporary peace with the immediate environment while awaiting rescue. Such scenarios demonstrate human adaptability in confined survival situations with limited resources.
If the proof convinced you, subscribe and open the next case.